The 961st edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is looking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 961 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Goofier Deer, who just asked in our Discord when the Oktagon pod was coming. So it is coming. Don't you worry, sir.
We're getting there.
He used a Mr. Bean meme, which is appreciated as well. So by me, Michelangelo Colangelo, aka Jeff Fox. Beside me, Daniel Gumby Vreeland. Hopefully this episode is as entertaining as our pre-air chat we just had. So that was fun. Gumby and I covered lots of interesting things there. It's Octagon, so it's going to be a good episode, right, Gumby?
I love Octagon. I mean, like, I literally said it to I was guest appearing on VSiN's First Strike this week, and I was telling the host over there that he's got to get in on Octagon. He's got to watch more Octagon. We were talking about Shamrock, who's showing up on Saturday, and he's like, where did this guy come from? And I was like, let me tell you about a little promotion called Octagon that's getting 70,000 people into football stadiums.
Yep. This isn't one of those events. I think I always look up how the capacity of the stadium is running.
Big ones at the end of
12,500, I think.
The big ones at the end of the year, I'm pretty sure, because that's where it's a Will Fleury fight night. He's fighting Martin Budai and December 28th or 9th or something. It's one of those
stuff that week. Perfect.
Yeah, thank God we have stuff to do at the end of the year. One.
We'll have one episode for each belt. Will be one episode.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be like. Who is Octagon's biggest star? Speaking of Will Fleury, who would be the guy? You think he's the biggest?
Yeah, now that Keith
even though he's not from there.
You know what the funny thing is?
Or Germany?
Every single time I've ever talked to Will Fleury, and we've talked in an interview, he said that he gets noticed more in Germany and in Czech Republic and stuff like that than he even does in Ireland. Like, he feels like he's become such a big star over there that it sort of like transcends country. And like he said that it seems like they feel pride more in their organization than they even do like their countrymen over. Like, once you're one of their guys, you're just like one of their guys. And I haven't been able to chat with Mallory Martin about it, but like she seems like she really loves Octagon too.
Yeah, I'm assuming they must pay good too, because that seems to be, especially fighters from that part of the world, it seems to be the spot they go to if the UFC doesn't work out, or if they're out of the PFL or something like that. So it must be a good place to work, is of what we're saying. No,
I'm pretty sure PFL's got no more European promotion too. Judging
by PFL
recent
announced a bunch of things. Yeah, which
they said 24 fight nights next year, which I think is a reduction, if I'm not mistaken. When you consider all the different promotions they had going on.
Yeah,
and they said there would be 16 big ones and then 8 between PFL Africa and PFL MENA. And I was like, but what about the other promotion that you had? Yeah. And then the other one you promised us, because they promised like an Anzac one, right? Like, wasn't there an Asia Anzac one?
Yeah.
And so like that's Europe seems to have gone away. Nothing new has appeared. The other two have pretty much stabilized and maybe even been reduced. Like, it seems like it's shrinking.
Whatever they're doing, don't get too excited, okay? Because they're gonna PFL it up regardless. So the fights may be good, but there's gonna be a bunch of nonsense outside the cage and long breaks between fights. What you gotta wait?
They got the smart gauge.
They do have a smart gauge, though. It's true. But this is not a PFL episode. No. PFL, I wish they would do more events, because PFL does very well for us business wise. So hey, the more the merrier. But no, this is Octagon. Thoughts on this event before we actually dive into it? Looks like a pretty solid event in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, like, for a fight card that has no title fight on it, it's a good one.
Technically a fight night, we can kind of consider.
Yeah, it's like not one of their like flagpole events is maybe what they would call them. But it's one that, nevertheless has like a lot of fan favorites on them and a lot of stylistic. I've said this before. I don't think anybody is better at matchmaking styles than Octagon's matchmakers. And I complimented him one time, and I'm pretty sure the guys in the comments said that the matchmaker is the owner. So like he does it both. And I mean, like, they're so good
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just so good at putting together fights that are like oh, not only are these guys roughly at the same level, but they like do a lot of the same things really well. I mean, like the first fight, which we're going to get into in just a second, it's like it's a Spider-Man meme at sometimes, like they do a lot of the same things, and it's -15 to -15 115, right? Or right around those odds last I checked. So they're great. I love everything about Oktagon.
For the record, they don't pay us anything, but
nothing.
I would accept money from them. No, but we just like the product. You put on a good product, we're going to give you publicity. You put on a bad product, I guess we do as well. But hey, all right. Here's something important for all you people. SGPN. We got a not a contest, but a discount going on right now. How about I just read the ad read instead of trying to freelance here? Freestyle. Gear up for the holidays at the SGPN merch store. The perfect gift for the degen in your life. Promo code HOLIDAY, HOLIDAY, as in Drew or Justin or who's there's one other Aaron is the other holiday. For 25% off everything in the merch store. Yes, everything, even all the SGPN MMA gambling podcast gear. We have lots of good stuff there. Lots of funny shirts. We got hats, we got mugs, we got everything. So check it out. SGPN store. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. That's one thing that we have to make sure we mention. How to get to the store. All right. We're headed over to Munich, Germany, Octagon 80, Legierski versus Korkmaz. As I said, Munich, it is a Saturday event, which is good because we already covered 3 Friday events. So you're all booked for Friday. This is a 12 noon Eastern time event is when it's starting. Internet pay-per-view, all the usual stuff. You know the routine. 10 fights. We're going to cover 5 in full. And then we got lightning round where Gumby can dabble in the rest of the fights that he finds most interesting. And we have odds. That's one thing. If you know where to look, there are odds. If you know who sponsors Oktagon, you can find yourself some odds. All right, we're starting with a welterweight fight. Endrit. Oh, as for odds, you will be able to find them elsewhere as well once we get closer to the event. Endrit, Brajshori. He's fighting at Matouš, Kohout. They're fighting at good names. Welterweight. Brajshori is from Kosovo. We don't cover too many fighters from Kosovo. And then where is the other gentleman from? Now that my
Czech, right?
Yeah, he's right. He's a native son, Czech Republic. Let's break it down. 3 5-minute rounds. This is a fight Gumby was referring to. It is a pick'em as of this recording. So Kohout is the mighty Rooster. Fantastic. 4 knockouts. He's been knocked out twice, submitted 4 times. 8 and 6 in Octagon. Yeah, fighters stick around. That's why I think they must pay good, because fighters stick around for a long time in Octagon. He's lost 2 straight and gone 4 and 5 over his last 9. He used to fight at 185 and 155. 3 and 3 in pro Muay Thai, 2 and 2 in pro kickboxing in the championship. He won championship in that realm. He is at -115. Brajshori, 5 and 2, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted twice. You owe us rounds, sir. 3 and 2 in Octagon. He's won 3 of his last 4, including his last bout via TKO. Used to fight at middleweight as well. He also is -115. So a pick'em.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Endrit Brajshori. I think the big reason for me, I mean, I guess it's twofold. First of all, I think Kohout is a little bit undersized for the division. I mean, he's very physically strong and he's buff, but like he's made 155, and it just sort of feels like to me like there's no way Brajshori would, apart from like severing one of his legs or something like that, make 55. Like it would take him a lot of work to get down there, and it probably took Kohout a lot to get down there too. But like, the size is a piece there. And Brajshori has shown that he can kind of like work in the clinch with guys who are like really strong. I don't really see Kohout doing any of that anyway, but like if you watch his fight with Merrick Bartle, yeah, Bartle eventually got him down and Bartle got the submission and whatever, but like Bartle is just like a tiny ball of muscle and stuff like that. But Brajshori did the right things leading up to that, and he digs underhooks well, and looked like he dealt with things pretty well. From the striking standpoint, both of them are pretty tight strikers. This is why I said, a little bit of the Spider-Man meme there. Brajshori, he keeps his hands up. He's very safe in terms of his boxing. He's quick. He's sharp. He's good in and out. And then on the Kohout side, I kind of feel like he's all of the things I just said, really tight, quick in and out, good defense, but not the out part. He gets in and sometimes he stays in. And like, he's looking for one more punch on his combination and just like hangs around too long sometimes. And I've seen him get tagged that way, right? Like that's been not devastatingly tagged that way, but like you've seen him get hit and be like, damn, you just shouldn't have been there. Like just get your shots in and then get the hell out of there, which like Brajshori does really well. And then I don't see as much of that from Kohout. And that to me leans Brajshori in the first place. And then when you add in just like how, nasty those knockouts you've seen from Brajshori are, like, right, he's coming off of a knockout pretty damn quick. It was a left hook. He just absolutely starched the guy. And so, like, knowing Kohout might be there for the counter, he might be there for a big left hook if he needs to, like that to me, if we're going to break this tie of this being a super close fight and guys being very evenly skilled, I'll take the guy I trust in the clinch a little bit more in Brajshori. And then on top of that, I'll take the guy who I trust defensively a little bit more in Brajshori as well. So I'm going to go with Endrit Brajshori to start.
All right. Lock it in. We're going down a weight class. We're going to lightweight now. Gökhan Aksu. He is from Austria. He's fighting a fighter we have spoken of a few times on this here podcast. Denis Frimpong. He is from Ghana. As I said, they're fighting at lightweight. Let's tell you about Frimpong first. Denis the Menace is 7-2, with 3 knockouts. He's been submitted once. 7-1 in Oktagon. He's won 5 straight, 2 straight via TKO. He last lost about November 2023. Used to fight at 170. 0-1 as a pro grappler. 3 years younger than Aksu, 6 inches taller. And I forgot, I'm supposed to do the underdog first, but anyhow, he's minus 204 for Frimpong. Aksu is Abinator. It sounds like one of those like late night infomercials, to work your abs out, some kind of contraption. The Abinator. 13-6-1. 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. So he's finished every one. He's been knocked out once, submitted 4 times. US rounds, sir. 2-0 in Octagon. He's won 5 straight. He last lost in June of 2022. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Remember, merch store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. You can get our merch. Check out, type in holiday, get 25% off. Use fight at 170, 2013 Pro MMA debut, plus 145.
Yeah, I'm going Frimpong here. He's actually probably one of my favorite plays and values on the whole card as it stands right now. I know he's like a pretty large favorite, and sometimes that shies people away. But look, if I'm looking at what I like about Aksu, right, and I do like Aksu. I don't want to knock him here, but like what I really like about him is he's like really, really vicious in the clinch. If you let him get into the clinch, he's going to throw elbows, he's going to throw knees, and he's going to work a ton. There's going to be a lot of movement in there. He's not going to stall. He's going to get after it. Love that about him. Here's the problem. He's not great at closing the distance very often. And Frimpong is freaky long. Like, this guy does not look like a lightweight. He is maybe not like the guy we were talking about the other day at welterweight, but he's like very, very long and lanky. And he uses that length well, both with jabs, front kicks up the middle and stuff like that. And then on top of that, if your goal is to clinch with Frimpong, I think you're in trouble, because the thing about Frimpong is like he, despite having no submission wins, is like a submission specialist. And it's like silly to say it like that, but like go watch any of his amateur fight. I mean, like watch a lot of his TKO finishes. They're TKO finishes. It's like punches from mount, punches from back mount. Like just getting guys to give up. And he's got tons of subs as an amateur. He does actually have 1 sub as a pro. I think Tapology decided it was record ineligible though. I want to say he hit a guy with a banana split, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, you don't see those very often. But like, again, just kind of like, freaky movement in terms of his, in that one you have to have like good back and hip control and stuff like that. So, for him to have been that good in the grappling department, and then Aksu is like, what, you have to close the distance in order to beat him. Like that doesn't seem like a good path to victory for me, right? Like he can want to strike with Frimpong in the clinch, but what's probably going to happen is Frimpong's going to trip him and wind up in a good position, or, transition to the back, do a duck under and get him all the way to the back. And if he does, like, I really like Frimpong's chances of finishing him here, either with punches from back there or, get his first, according to Tapology, his first professional submission.
Maybe he could get another banana split, Gumby, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever hit a banana split?
A lot of times. It's one of my favorites.
For real?
Yeah. Banana splits, cherry pickers. All of those are really, really, really good.
What's a cherry picker? That sounds like an ankle type thing.
No, cherry picker is you do it from like a truck position on the back when you have a single hip. Sometimes it's like when you're reaching for a twister, but instead you grab the leg.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. That makes sense. All right. Don't mess with Gumby. All right, before we get to some more winning at plates, let's tell you about Novig, Novig. We are brought to you by them. Novig is America's #1 sports production market. Novig, you're getting the best prices because they have reduced juice. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your play. Do you have a winning play for the people, Gumby?
Sure. Hopefully you're getting this by the NBA games on Wednesday night. If you are, I like Jaylen Brown's PRA higher than on the projection on his PRA. Right now, he's just been an absolute motor with the rebounds and assists lately. So you could basically cut down the amount of points you're going to need him to get just by playing the PRA. So we'll take the higher than on Jaylen Brown's PRA.
I'm making some money off them on the spread, those Celtics, because they're not as bad as people expect.
Man, I crapped all over them early on.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first things we did when basketball season started. Yeah. Crap all over the Celtics. And they're like kind of a respectful 7-7 and probably about to beat the pants off of the god-awful Nets.
Yep. All right. Underdog has a brand new offer just for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with their code MMASGPN. All right, let's see if we got some more banana split breakdown. An actual banana split's gross, though.
Yeah, those are nasty.
With that or not?
Yeah, get fruit. Actually, here's my hot take.
Yeah,
get fruit all the way out of my ice cream. I got no need for you there. That's not why I came to dessert. Is for fruit. Get out of here.
Fruit, yeah, exactly. Fruit is not a dessert. All right, fruit is something some healthy thing. It's not a dessert. That's for damn sure. All right, this is the show of the hot takes. All right, this is why we have thousands of you people tuning in, because we don't shy away from the hot takes here.
I'm willing to go on record about my fruit for dessert take.
It's true. All right, well, we got a catch weight belt next. This one was a short notice. About 196 pounds is where it's being taken place at. We have got the Poppeck gentleman, Alexander Poppeck. He is from Germany, so the crowd will be in his favor. David Hošek is who he's filling for. Hošek is from, I think he's, I want to say Czech, but I might get yelled at. Maybe he's not Czech, but we'll say Czech Republic. Tell you about Hošek first. 13-7-1, 8 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted twice. 7-3-1 in Oktagon. He has taken this fight on short notice. Loss win over his last 6 fights. 1-2 in KSW. Used to fight at 185. 1-0 in bare knuckle boxing. A year younger than Poppeck. Plus 662. So they know about the short notice thing over there. Ironside is Poppeck's nickname. 18-5 with 1 no contest. 12 knockouts. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 5-1 with 1 no contest in Oktagon. 2-0 with 1 no contest over his last 3, 6-1 with 1 no contest over his last 8. Won his last bout via TKO. He's not lost since June 2023. He went 0-1 in PFL, 0-1 in Contender Series because he lost to
freaking Jamal Hill.
That you got to say that aged well at the very least. for the weight class. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Remember, holiday is your checkout code at sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. All right, he has fought at every weight class: 165, 170, 185, 205, 265. 2013 Pro MMA debut, 4 years younger than Hošek, minus 2,000. So this is the big one on the card.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to be real honest with you. No reason to put Alexander Poppeck in any of your parlays. Stop. Don't look for props. Don't look for. I tried to get myself there on Hošek. I really did. I tried to convince myself that he has a real chance here of beating Poppeck. Both because the number is ridiculous, and second of all, I'm not a Poppeck hater, but I just think like he tends to get hyped up more than he is good, in my opinion. And like negative 2,000 is ridiculous. Hošek has like a path to like maybe wrestle him, which is where I was trying to get there on. Yeah. But like the cardio concern on Hošek is so bad for me that like, especially on short notice, like I think he has a cardio concern, period. And then a cardio concern when, he's taking a fight on short notice at a weight class that I'm like, can he, like he should be able to make this regularly, but like, can he make it on short notice? Obviously they had to finagle on that number. What if he comes in here and has a bad cut? Like, I'm already worried about your cardio and now I have to answer all these questions. That's trouble. And like Poppeck will be better on the feet. He will be much better on the feet. And like, so if Poppeck can keep his feet, I would have already picked him to win. I had like a question about that, but then like, as long as he survives the first time he gets taken down, I don't know if Hošek will have enough energy to take him down a second time. So yeah, I'm going to go Poppeck here. I just couldn't get there on convincing myself that Hošek has enough of a chance to take a stab. But I will say, like, I don't like Poppeck at that number. I would stay right away from that.
Okay, stay away from Poppeck is what Gumby is saying. All right, but what we don't pass in this show, we don't hedge.
No passes.
No lean in. We don't do any of that. All right, the co-main event is German versus German action. Christian Jungwirth, Niklas Stolze. As I said, both German, both welterweights. Tell you about Stolze. Actually, we'll tell you about Jungwirth first. The Celt is 15-9, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 7-7 in Octagon, 1-3 over his last 4, 3-3 over his last 6. He did lose his last bout. That was back in October 2024. Used to fight at 161 plus 144 on the board. Green Mask, Stolze is 14-8, 5 knockouts, 5 submissions. Knocked out once, submitted 3 times. 3-2 in Octagon. Win-loss over his last 4, 2-5 over his last 7. He got submitted in his last bout. He went 0-3 in the UFC. Used to fight at 155, 1-0 as a pro kickboxer. 5 years younger than Jungwirth, 2 inches taller, minus 200.
Do you know how he became Green Mask? Do you know that story?
We might have talked about it before.
He was like a Muay Thai guy, and his coach said he needed a shtick so that people would remember him in the country he was fighting in. And he gave him like a green, like Jim Carrey, the mask, Green Mask.
No, for real?
Yeah, and he wore it on the way out, and like won his fight, and they were like chanting Green Mask, Green Mask. So he's green. Which is pretty fun. That being said, I'm taking Jungwirth. I'm gonna go dog here. It's taken me until now on the fight card to find an underdog I like. But the bottom line is like Stolze is like it's striking or nothing. Like if he can't get the guy off of him and get to space, he's doomed. He doesn't look good in the grappling department. It's what cost him in 90% of his fights in the UFC. He hit that flying knee knockout that like pretty much got him rolling in Octagon again. But I'm like, but if he didn't hit that flying knee knockout, maybe he loses that fight too. I just don't trust him against somebody who can bring the grind. And I do think Jungwirth can bring enough of the grind to win this fight. If you watch his fight with Pukash, like he put him up against the cage, brought a little bit of that sort of sloppy, grinder kind of style to that fight. I think he just drags Stolze into the kind of fight that Stolze doesn't like. Because like Stolze is a really good striker, right? Like I just mentioned the Muay Thai background and all that kind of stuff, but he's not really good at dictating a fight. He's not really good at saying like, okay, this is going to be a striking fight and we're going to throw from range. Sometimes people are dumb enough to throw with him from range. I kind of think Jungwirth is smarter than that. I think he comes with a game plan that sort of either tries to crowd Stolze and make him fight in a phone booth so he's not able to use his like rangy striking, or like goes directly to clinch and takedowns. And either one, the crowding of Stolze, I think, is going to be the big piece here. So I'm going to go with Jungwirth here. I think he brings that pressure, and that's enough. All
right. Lock in a dog for Gumby. We're going to get you more winning plays in a moment. One more thing to tell you about. Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is crushing it in college football, NFL, and now just added the NBA. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gumby, do you have a play for the people?
Of course I did. I like to double dip a little bit. So obviously we go back to the hardwood where I was already talking about Jaylen Brown playing the god-awful Brooklyn Nets. And I'm not going to mince words. God-awful Brooklyn Nets. The 7-7 Celtics are favored by almost a dozen points here. -11.5. I'm going to take the Celtics to cover those 12 points.
All right. Lock it in. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. All right, we have come to our main event. Is for a belt. Hooray. Octagon vacant lightweight championship vacated because
I forgot there was this was technically a title fight.
Yes,
I did forget.
Right, that's right. You mentioned no title.
I said no title fight at the beginning, but that's because this is Los Anakita's belt, right?
That sounds right. Yes.
Yeah, it's one of Kita's belts, right?
Yeah. So they have the UFC has stolen him. So we have
sort of. Is he still there? Do we know if he's still there?
That's right. Yeah, I don't know if he's still there. Hopefully he's still there. I guess. If not, go back to Octagon. Either or. We'll watch you regardless.
I looked it up. It was Kita, by the way.
Okay. We have a Polish fighter, Mateusz Legierski. He's fighting against Attila Korkmaz. He is from Turkey. They're fighting 5-minute rounds, 155 belt on the line. Korkmaz is the fearless, 16-10, 3 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once. That means he's durable. 2-3 in Octagon. He's won 1 of 3, 2 of 5. He did win his last bout. He went 1-1 Bellator, RIP. He has multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Remember, checkout code is holiday, 25% off. What a deal. Used to fight at 145, 2010 Pro MMA debut, plus 157. Dynamite with no E at the end of it. Legierski, 12-2, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He's durable as well. Yanni says this one's ending in the first round. 9-1 in Octagon, former champion. He's won 5 of 6. He did lose his last bout. That was back in September 2024. 1-1 in KSW, 1-0 as a pro kickboxer. He's 5 years younger than Korkmaz. He's 2 inches taller. He's 5 inches, has 5-inch reach advantage. So bigger and younger, minus 222.
I'm going to take Korkmaz. Yeah, I when this fight first got posted, I was all about Legierski. You know, obviously he's had a better early career, but there's some tendencies I've seen from his fights lately that I worry a little bit about. So I went back and I watched the Kita fight, and obviously nobody looks really great against Kita. But the big problem I had with him in that, from the striking standpoint, is he just kept circling into Kita's right hand. Like, he kept circling to the power hand. And granted, he didn't get knocked out, but like, isn't that like a giant flaw in fight IQ? Like, isn't it enough of a red flag to be like, okay, well, that's bad. Now, I already don't think he's faster than Korkmaz on the feet. I think his path to victory is all when it comes to takedowns. And if you watch Legierski, it's like, it's usually not a double leg takedown. It's usually an upper body lock takedown. It's, you know, something with a trip or an inside or an outside trip, or, you know, just like you know, almost like a take the back and mat return kind of issue. And like, that's all well and good. It's worked for him in the past, and obviously he's put together a good record and he's made it to this point. But if you watch Korkmaz's fights, like, he really doesn't give up takedowns to body locks. If you know, any of the guys he's fought before in the past, you know, guys have taken him down, but not with body locks. You know, if you watch Shamrock took him down in their fight, Shamrock had to get to the hips and really work for what he wanted, and you know, sort of shoot a double after, you know, readjusting a bunch of times against the cage. And Legierski doesn't really do that. You know, he gets in on that body lock and he just tries to readjust it and stick his knee in between and turn his hips and all that kind of stuff. And again, like I said, it's worked before in the past, but with Korkmaz being the shorter, stockier, lower to the ground guy, I mean, you even saw it with Shamrock when he got those positions. He wasn't getting those takedowns either, because the taller, lankier guy typically does not get that takedown against a guy with a low base. And so, like, I worry about that already for Legierski. Like, is he going to be able to get enough of his wrestling game going, or is he going to waste a ton of energy in the clinch trying to do that? And as I mentioned at the top, I think he's already the slower striker. So if he does waste a bunch of energy on like kind of lackluster takedowns or takedowns that don't work well against Korkmaz, like, I think he's going to find himself tired and possibly even slower and easier to pick apart on the feet. And then when you add in the whole piece about that I worried about with that fight IQ, where it seemed like you've been circling into power hands, you know, you worry even more, especially over a 5-round fight. So I'm going to take Attila Korkmaz here for the upset in the title fight.
All right. Let's give you a recap and get you some more plays. Korkmaz and it's Jungwirth. He's ending with dogs there. Then he has got Poppeck. He has got Frimpong, and he has got Brajshori. All right, lightning rounds at Ben Boom Pow.
So one of them I'm going to take is technically a main card fight that got squeezed in between all of these other ones. I did not modify what we were already covering, because first of all, we already had a few modifications in the other shows we did. And second of all, it's just an absolute violent squash match. I'm going to take Ronnie Paradiser. They found him a last-second opponent that he's just going to murder on live TV. It's negative 600 last I saw, or I believe it was 588. It's crazy thinking Poppeck is negative 2000 and this is negative 588, where they like found a, you know, somebody for, you know, Paradiser to just absolutely wallop on. And so like, he seems like a good one to like squeeze into a couple of parlays if you want to extract a little volume, or maybe you just, you know, find his finish prop somewhere, something like that. But yeah, I really like Ronnie Paradiser. I've always been a big fan of him. You know, kind of would love to see him make it back to the top again, this time at welterweight. The other one I take is Michael Dagashek. Dagashek is fighting T.O. Smith, who was supposed to fight Ilbe last week or a couple of weeks ago. And I wasn't really impressed with what I saw by Teo Smith on the tape. And right now you can get Dagashek at only -143. And he's put together, despite not having maybe the best record, some like really competitive fights against some like really decent opponents. So I expect him to kind of take this opportunity to take the step down in skill and pick up a big win.
All right, did you get odds for either of those?
Dagashek is a -143, and then
nice.
Ronnie is -588.
Okay. All right.
Parlay.
You're set for yeah, last minute too. So yeah, for that bout. So it should be a squash match, as Gumby said. All right, you're all set for the old Oktagon. You can talk more Oktagon with us in Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Of course, in the comment section on YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast. And we're on Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. Check out my Substack, enter my free UFC Pick'em contest, because yes, the UFC is running this week, and it's actually a good show. That would be moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has another podcast, Top Turtle MMA. He has interesting people on it. Not named me. Who is on the show this week?
Yeah, so from that good card in Qatar, we've got Volkan Ozdemir, who's fighting Alonzo Metafield. And then we're also talking to Shannon Clark, LFA 125 champ.
Yes, the Canadian. So check it out. That would be Top Turtle. Of course, wherever you get your podcast. And we are at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember, the checkout code is holiday, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. I think it's your turn, Gumby, to bid people farewell. This is the fourth episode we've done. So it would be me, you, me. Yeah, it would be you.
All right. I'm David Gumby Freeland. He's the mighty rooster, Jeff Fox. And we will see you tomorrow.